China. Social credits, face-changing filters, hot pots, memes, and you name it, they make it. But China wasn't always this powerhouse of a country. In fact, centuries ago, China was met with its own political struggles, adopting a system that was filled with corruption, which led to social discontent. How is any of this related to what I'm talking about? The Apothecary Diaries is a medical-themed mystery anime. A medical-themed mystery anime. Name one medical-themed anime. That's right, there's cells at work. Mystery animes. Now that's a common sight. The ones that get your brain cells going. But a medical mystery anime, I might have to wait for an eternity. The story is set in ancient China, where the imperial court system was adopted. That relates to the intro. An era where the emperor is the sovereign and has his own harem. Our protagonist is not one of them. She's a drug addict, or in this case, the apothecary. She knows drugs, deals drugs, takes drugs for the fun of it. And that's how the story relates medicine to mystery. If you watch a story that is set in ancient times, you gotta think like ancient people. Technology and AI did not even exist in the realms of imagination. There were no cure to diseases. Causes of sickness weren't clearly identified. Maomao didn't start off as the apothecary. She was nothing but a low-ranking servant, working in the imperial courts. But you see the way she starts breaking down mysteries. Her knowledge and skills on medicine slowly became evident. That's when you start taking the story seriously. What started out as just a case of a mysterious illness, Maomao eventually got dragged into solving more cases around the imperial courts. That's why I hate the corporate world. The mysteries don't just relate entirely with medicine. Politics, assassinations, weird sightings. The story keeps the mysteries realistic and logical. It hooks you in with its intricate plot. Every character seems suspicious. And the cases are not episodic. One mystery could even link to 5 other mysteries to uncover the big picture. It's a mystery anime, but also historical and scientific. You might learn more from this anime than in school and realize how much civilization has evolved ever since ancient times. Because society back then, Maomao was kidnapped and sold off as a slave to the imperial courts. Nobody gave a fuck about that. Hey, I guess it's not really that different from present-day China. Eunuchs are men that have their dicks and balls chopped off to serve the courts. Consorts are the emperor's wives, who could be wedded as young as 9 years old. The emperor is essentially a rich fuckboy. The imperial court system was designed to centralize governance, maintain social stability, and promote cultural development. But obviously it was flawed. That's why it was abolished in 1912. There's also something called the courtesans, which my friend compares it to a Korean idol, but they're low-key just prostitutes. They're well-mannered, well-educated, and are uniquely skilled. People spend good money to get attention from these girls, and Kim Chae-won will never know I exist. There are a lot of things that don't sit right with the society compared to what we live in now. That's why it was abolished in 1912. But the story doesn't rant about it like a kid for a minute and 12 seconds. It's a seinen. Girls are married at the age of 9 for political reasons. It's normal for girls to sell their bodies for a living. It's fine if the king has 6 wives and one of them is a minor. All these controversial concepts were once accepted as norms in ancient Chinese society. And the Apothecary Diaries embody those concepts with pride. They're not challenging societal norms or preaching on feminism like the hundreds of movies that are desperately trying to preach on. It's a seinen. They trust that you would understand the hints of the outcomes. Answers weren't spelled out for you. You gotta use that brain of yours and think. Read between the lines. The lines of hundreds of dialogues. Fuck. They talk a lot in this anime, more so in the source material. The anime that was adapted from the light novel, which was also adapted into a manga, has a shit ton of monologues and inner thoughts, which the anime waters down quite a lot compared to the original source. But they still talk a shit ton. It's a mystery anime, what do you expect? Aoi Yuki is the voice actor for Maomao. You're gonna hear her voice a lot. She has also voiced a lot of different characters, but none of them quite replicate how unique she was able to make Maomao sound. A perfectly monotone voice that pitches up in excitement when it's needed, but comes back down to suit the role of a lowly servant.
これ毒です。
Maomao is a good character. It's easy to make a female character likable. Just give her some huge bonkers and make her hair white. That's how she's got here. But Maomao doesn't have any of those, and she's a drug addict. Maomao is a character that I respect. But she's not real.
Yep, you're banned.
Maomao is real. You're just too delusional to not see it. Her character and personality is too realistic to be fictional. It's a seinen. Girls are realistic. Growing up in a place where prostitution is a way to get by in life, Maomao's fate was pretty much set in stone. Now imagine growing up with your whole future planned out. That's Asians in a nutshell. But she's matured, doesn't bitch out about it or challenge the expectations set onto her, which makes you think she's easygoing, and for the most part, she is. But there are boundaries, lines that she draws ever so clearly. That's why I believe I need a girl who is clear on what she likes and what she hates, wise in making decisions, is not afraid to give you a good slap when you fucked up. I need that in my life. She's smart, obviously. She wears fake freckles to devalue herself from being sexually assaulted. Her ways of deciphering clues and solving mysteries are top tier. She's basically Conan, but Chinese. Maomao not only has the power to fix my crippling depression, but she could also potentially fix depression itself. I don't need a doctor when I have Maomao. And almost every other character is as well written as the protagonist. Characters that seem unimportant, but they connect to the story somehow in some way. It's not just the secrecy of the story that makes it a mystery, but the characters themselves are a mystery on their own. There's a lot to Maomao that we don't know about. Events that are major to all of us, but insignificant to her. She holds what's important to her closely and is willing to go the distance for those who matter. That's what makes her such a good character. Even after 24 episodes, the story has yet to cover the other characters and how their stories connect to the plot. Is Jinshi really Jinshi? You can't help but anticipate a well-written story at the corner of every single character. You notice the minute details on each character's expressions. You start kicking your brain cells into overdrive just to keep up with the narrative. That is what the Apothecary Diaries does to you. The story keeps you invested once you show your curiosity, but you gotta be patient and show interest first. That's a drug addict analogy. This show is goated. I'm gay for Jinshi, sometimes down bad for Maomao, always down bad for Pyrin.